I'm afraid so you can't see the page.
Life is a circus, and this is The Circus Life. I'm your host, Justin Trewick. Across from me in the control room is Sean Russell, running the board and all things technical. We are recording live in Q Recording Studios in Falls Church, Virginia. Find us on Facebook.com/The Circus Life Podcast, Twitter and Instagram at The Circus Life DC, YouTube at The Circus Life Podcast, and thecircuslife.com, as well as subscribing on iTunes. Our show is sponsored by Q Recording Studios, where we record our show once a week. Our candy is sponsored by the warehouse department of Sweetwater.com. I am sponsored by Saucony shoes, and I wanted to just show these in the effort that one day they might want to sponsor the show as a whole. But they've been sending me shoes for about 5 years, and so I like to say that I'm sponsored by them. And, of course, last but not least, Dogwood Tavern, which is where we always go and hang out after the show when we shoot the shows here. On the show today, we have DC-based band The Cowards Choir, fresh off of a southeast run of shows and gearing up for a full East Coast EP release tour in October. Before The Cowards Choir comes in the studio, I've got Ben Tufts here with, he's the percussionist in The Cowards Choir, but more importantly, he's a longtime friend of mine. Ben, how are you doing?
Doing great.
You had a busy night last night.
I did.
What did you do?
Well, yesterday afternoon was the third annual Ben Tufts and Friends show at Jam and Java.
It was
Indiana.
the third one?
Mm-hmm. It's the third one we've done.
Wow, I thought it was actually only the second one. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's a benefit show that all the proceeds, all the profits of which go to a memorial fund in my dad's name. My dad was Craig Tufts, who was the chief naturalist at the National Wildlife Federation for It was about 35 years. He started in 76 or 77 and worked there right up until his passing in 2009. And the Memorial Fund provides money for children to study nature in various locations all over the country.
And so what bands did you have actually out there playing?
Oh boy, lots. I think we had 17 different artists. We had some solo artists. The headliners were a combined Cowards Choir and Beanstalk Library.
Nice.
And I played with several of the groups that I play with. Derek Every and his band of Misanthropes, Mud Ray.
Angela Chic, right?
Angela Chic performed, Margot McDonald, Lauren Calv, a duo from Madison, Wisconsin that I met while I was on tour in the spring by the name of Snouts. And they're fantastic. And
band names are so funny.
Dan Fisk, Jason Ager,
Yeah.
the Family Plots. There's a lot of folks.
The Family
playing.
Plots?
Mm-hmm.
Is that supposed to be like a reference to cemeteries?
Well, I think it's a really clever band name because it also could be like a sentence, like the Family Plots something.
Their revenge.
I don't know. I think it's a great band name, and the band is also quite good.
Oh, absolutely. As you were talking to me right now, I keep wincing because I realize that I'm also talking to a fellow person who does not exercise. I know, right? I'm true because I learned a new term called skinny fat. Which my friend Matt Boyer, who designed the icon for our iTunes, The Circus Life artwork, he and his girlfriend told me the word skinny fat, which makes a lot of sense because there are people out there who look lean and fit and probably are going to die tomorrow because they are so out of shape. And I'm always attempting to stay in shape very badly because I essentially my goal in life is to reach 50 and beyond. So today I went and played Ultimate Frisbee, with which you and I went to college together, not at the same time. We went to the same school.
Yes.
I like, for the people out there listening, I like to give Benny a hard time about his age because he is about 47 years older than me.
47, exactly. It's good.
You
did your research.
Or 4 years older than me, I think. You were not there when I went to school, but
correct.
I have not played Ultimate Frisbee since about a month ago, and I sit in with these guys every once in a while who meet in Fairfax near T.T. Reynolds where it used to be. And I sat in today and played for a while, and Well, first of all, I completely laid out a guy on the field. And I asked it earlier before we started the show if it was all right if I mentioned the fact that you and I almost beat each other up a couple years ago, because I was thinking, when is the last time that I've gotten into a physical confrontation with anybody? And really, the only fight I've actually ever been in was in 7th grade in middle school, where me and Tony Green, Tony Green, like, TKO'd me in the locker room. What had happened was we were playing I think we were playing soccer during PE, and I believe he cheated somehow. I believe he cheated, which he might say that I'm wrong, but I believe he cheated. And I was really.
Can we get Tony on the phone?
I was really angry. We don't have phone capabilities, but one day we will.
Or Skype? Can we Skype Tony?
One day we'll get
Look
Tony
him up on
the
Facebook.
phone.
Yeah.
Well, we have since become friends, and we are now Facebook friends. But
okay.
At the time, I thought he cheated, so I socked him in the arm, and which was a really dumb idea because Tony was about 4 times my size, but I thought he forgot about it. I thought he just forgot about it. And about 20 minutes later in the locker room, he was angry that I socked him in the arm, and so he knocked me out in the locker room.
Like, you actually lost consciousness?
I woke up on the floor.
Wow.
I did. But because it essentially was a fight, and we both had to go to in-school suspension, which is where we became friends. And so it leads me to just, from that point forward to maybe about a year ago, you and I were in Richmond.
A couple years. Yeah, we had just played at it was a baseball game. Mm-hmm. The Richmond team, the Flying Squirrels. Which, if you ever want to strike fear into the hearts of your enemy, name your team the Flying Squirrels.
They have a sweet story. I believe that the Richmond Times Dispatch did a citywide survey of who what they want to name the team, and apparently a child actually said the Flying Squirrels, which is where they got it from. But you're right, it is a funny name.
Well, now I feel like a jerk.
That's not the Bay Sox. Bay Sox is also a funny name.
I don't actually remember much about the circumstances of us almost beating the crap out of each other.
It was just us being around each other too long.
Non-stop.
I think we had done a tour of maybe like 4 or 5 days, and we had never spent that much time together before.
Non-stop.
And I think that you and I slept in 2 different places that night, and I think that we showed up at 2 different times, and you were just amazingly upset, and I was my normal oblivious self as to everything's great and shiny, and I think you had not had your coffee yet.
That's probably true.
Yeah. But today, since that day, or since Tony Green, I actually laid a guy out on the field accidentally, which is kind of in that manly kind of sense. It gives you that, oh, wow, I actually have the capability that I did not know of being able to knock somebody completely on their ass.
Yep.
And I did, and I felt horrible about it.
Now you don't have to play music to impress women anymore.
I don't. I just have to bring them to all my lame ultimate Frisbee games. And then very shortly thereafter, because we were playing in the rain, I went to dive for a Frisbee and completely did the world's worst splits I've ever seen, which caused me to have... I've never broken anything in my life. I've never broken anything. Wow. Knock on wood. That's what I'm going to do. But I heard an amazing pop. And I just laid there on the field in the middle of the game, in the middle of all these people that are way better than Ultimate Frisbee. They're just staring at me like, what is this dude doing to our game? And I was just laying there on my back. I didn't look at my leg yet. Yeah. I was just wondering if there's a bone sticking out of my leg.
Like a Joe Theismann.
And right. And what I had actually done was I was still, because I'm not an active person, I was still using the same cleats that I owned in high school.
You have cleats. That's impressive.
From high school. It's not impressive if they're 15 years old. And I was using the cleats from when I was in high school, and somehow the entire bottom of the shoe, the cleat part, the part that sticks into the grass, came apart. It was literally and that was the pop that I heard. But I did not improve my body either way, because now both of my ankles are you're just looking at me and judging
right.
judging the way my body
looks. It doesn't
looks.
Look better.
Right.
Than the last time I saw it.
But I am in pain, and hopefully... And thankfully we're here tonight, because otherwise I might have been in the doctor's office.
Yeah. I'm definitely a fellow skinny fat person.
Have you gotten yourself on Tinder yet, Ben?
I did. Finally.
Did you really?
Yeah, at your recommendation.
So
I'm ashamed to admit.
Ben and I have never, if we do some self-deprecating humor, if you will, we've never been that really great with the ladies, and we usually bond towards that. with that
Right.
kind of theme in our friendship. And I have used Match.com before, and I think wasted thousands of dollars over the years doing it. But there are these free apps that we are not being paid by for our show, but I'll still name them anyway. Tinder, and there's actually one local called Hinge, who has given me a shirt.
It's called
before.
Hinge?
They're called Hinge. I know. It does seem kind of weird. More like a drug reference. But I begged Ben to get on it, and I'm also on it. So I don't know. Have you met anybody? Have you chatted with anyone yet?
No, I haven't. I just joined this morning, and if anyone out there who's listening uses it, it's the ultimate in like short attention span.
Well, it's the most
theater for like literally you see a picture and you go yep or nope, and I'm so picky that I'm just like nope, 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 nope. So I'm never gonna meet anybody on there.
What I do is I say yes to everybody.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
I say yes to everybody and just see if they also like me. I don't even look. I'll be driving to Philly.
So this isn't even for dating. This is just for like.
It's just to make myself feel better. I'll be driving to Philly. I'll be driving to New York. Oh, and the other thing that I don't know if you've gone out of town with it yet, but it basically searches wherever you are at that moment.
It's a hookup app.
So I'll be in New York, and I'll have gone through it, and then I'll come home, and this girl will message me that we both like okayed each other, and she'll message me and be like, "Hey, you seem like a really great guy," and then she'll suddenly like totally her mood will change, be like, "Holy cow, you're 500 miles away." But right, I kind of basically just like everybody. I think that's just the way that my life is. I'm just trying to get as many people to like me as possible.
Well, that's why we're on stage, right? For the
That
attention.
is right. I do feel better when I'm on stage than when I'm sitting at home. I imagine you're probably the same way.
Yeah, if anything, it's only become more acute, my comfort level on stage versus anywhere else. Yeah.
What do you do during the day when you're not playing music?
Think about the next time I get to play music.
But
I teach a lot, and yeah, that's about it.
You teach drumming.
Mm-hmm.
And you also, I think you've taught in high schools and stuff, drum lines and stuff like that.
The past couple of years, my touring has ramped up so much that I haven't been able to maintain a lot of the contracts that I used to have with high schools and middle schools because I've been out of town so much that they needed somebody who was able to be there more often.
Right.
But yeah, I've done a lot of group instruction in like high schools and middle schools, marching band, concert band, some jazz band.
But I think you may have just said it now, but I know you've said it to me before. You have recently never been more happier than when you've been on the road.
Yes.
I mean, and you're one of the biggest social networking people I've ever seen in regards to, and especially in regards to your photography. What is your Instagram and your Twitter? Is it Ben Tufts Drums?
Instagram is just Ben Tufts. Twitter is Ben Tufts Drums. There is a Ben Tufts on Twitter, and most of his followers are people that think he's me.
You have
It's really frustrating.
You have the most amazing iPhone photography, of which, I just use Instagram for my personal use, and I just use their plugins and stuff, but you use like multiple apps to create really, really great photos. And it's amazing because you did a big national tour recently with Yuma Ray.
Miss Siobhan and Yuma Ray. Yeah.
And the photos of you in the desert were awesome.
Oh, cool. Thanks. I really enjoy taking pictures, and I think I realized the only reason I hadn't explored that more previously is because I can't have nice things. I break stuff. I lose things. But when your phone has a good camera, and if you're addicted to your phone like I am, you always have a camera with you. So, yeah, I really enjoy taking pictures of stuff. We actually auctioned off a bunch of my photos, prints of my photos at the benefit show last night.
Yeah.
And that actually raised a significant chunk of cash for the memorial fund. So I was pretty happy about that.
I have all these great pieces of paper that I'm sure the microphones can pick up me shuffling through because I lost where I am, Ben.
Not too bad.
Yeah, so what we're going to do now, Ben, is we're going to have the Cowards Choir go ahead and set up and sit down here with us. But before they do that, to bring them on, we're going to play one of the songs off of their EP. And this song is called A Better Lie. And then we'll come back in about 4 minutes with the Cowards Choir fronted by Andy Zipf.
Awesome.
yourself get found. Take root in some common ground, but some lessons ain't learned out loud. I'm trying, so have mercy. Lover, your ways to hurt me. I'm tired of crossing this bridge built out of caution. Don't believe you when you said we tried. Doubt dripping on the white of your eyes. We're breaking 'cause you can't decide to speak the truth or take it back. I heard what the crow's been calling. They seen where your heart's been walking, and that's more than a secret talking. You know it can go on like this, drawing lines on a bitter list. Feels like the betrayer's kiss. I'm tired of crossing this bridge built out of caution. Don't believe you when you said we tried. Doubt dripping on the white of your eyes. We're breaking 'cause you can't decide to speak the truth or take it back. Deep down in the darkest hollow, where all is broken.